What's good, Bolt fam? I'll tell you what's good right now. I'm your host, Booga Peters. You're listening to Bold Blitz Uncut. I'm joined by my guy, 80 Simons from across the pond. It's only about 5:05 in the AM there.
Yeah.
All the way over in London. But let's just say something. We've got something to celebrate right now. Chargers pull off a victory that I'm not sure too many of us were overly confident in. 80, you watched the game here with me, at least the second half. So many frustrating plays. No one can protect Herbert. No idea what they're going to do on the offensive line. But that being said, Kamani Vidal, incredibly hard runner. Keenan, we'll get to him eventually. But that 10 guy, he's pretty damn good at football. Your thoughts? Just a slow, encompassing, smaller thought regarding the game.
I think it's a game that not many of us really expected. It was potentially a trap game. But we got through it and we kind of blew them out, which anybody who said they were expecting this, you're lying. You're bullshitting. It's
full of shit, dude. Nobody expected that.
Nobody expected this. This started out one of those games where it's just like, oh, it's going to be a bit ticky-tacky, and then just we started pulling away.
Another early game, almost interception from Herbert. I mean, we've got a weird trend early in the game.
Yeah.
Isaiah Rodgers against Minnesota dropped that one early, and then obviously we saw the pick six against the Titans to basically start that game on the defensive side of the ball, or offensive side of the ball. You saw it tonight, a little discouraging to get the game going, but I'm sure that when the game opens up with Dicker kicking the ball out of bounds, you're like, oh, shit, what are we in store for?
Yeah. I mean, I did say my tweet from the end of the first half is the only person with worse hands than the Chargers receivers is Steelers defensive back.
Yeah, dropped a lot of picks.
Yeah, they did us a lot of favors. So, from the first half, it wasn't looking too great. First quarter, Vidal was just running into brick walls constantly, was doing nothing. It kind of picked up a little bit in the second quarter, but Herbert took a while to get ready. His throws were all off. Some were behind, some were over. And again, it's not very Herbert-like, but he got there.
Yeah, hold on. I really appreciate that you're willing to bring that up, especially after a triumphant victory that some of us weren't expecting to happen, myself included. I really thought this was going to be a different game. But from the get-go, Herbert was struggling. And now listen, when you have that amount of pressure on you, I'm not sure how many people wouldn't struggle. But that being said, you're top, what is it now, 5 or 7 in the league, getting paid. And it's time to figure that out regardless of what Greg Roman and Joe Ortiz put in front of you. I look at this offense and I look at what Herbert did tonight, and there are things that set him apart. And I truly mean this, aside and away from the rest of the entire NFL when it comes to how you lead a team. It's not an accident that he leads the NFL in rushing yards. We just waited for him to be healthy enough, and 80 will talk about the ankles being taped and all the things that happened to Herbert as well. But how long do you expect, and we're not trying to be dull and dreary, but how long do you expect Herbert to be able to maintain this type of style of play and actually continue to propel the Chargers forward?
It's going to be bend rather than break. If he breaks, the season's over. He's going to get hit. He's taking, on average, about 9 hits a game, which is more than anybody in the last 20 years.
That's insane. I'm so glad you brought up that stat because I forgot that shit. That's a big deal, guys. There are a lot of guys who've been hit so many times in the last 2 decades. Herbert is literally like on some crazy pace. Pay attention.
So, now we've got Jags coming up next week. Well, they're not too big on the old pass rush. Then we have a week off. That's going to be vital to help us recover for the stretch. So,
are you willing to say that it's vital for the stretch regarding the recovery of Omarion Hampton getting back in the lineup, or what? Are you real? You miss him too?
I mean, Vidal's like 3rd or 4th running back for a particular reason. So, I mean, he's doing a really good job, and more power to him. It's going to really help him if he's with us next year. If he's not, he's going to get paid regardless.
Yeah.
He may even end up being running back 2. We don't know. But, Hampton's been walking around with no boot on. He seems ready to go. So, they're going to open the window for him this week, and then he's got his 14 days. So, Jags next week, then it's the bye. So, for first game back after the bye, he's going to be ready to go. I think it's the Eagles we play, but
for sure. It's on some old guy's birthday. It's getting right around that time anyway, for sure. Listen, everybody who's paid any attention to anything I have to say regarding college football and, of course, the NFL, Hampton happened to be my favorite player in the entire draft class. He ended up being a Charger, loved it. And then he caught a little bit of that Bolt Blitz curse, which we will not talk about too often, but we will use it to deflect from something that everybody in Steeler Nation and Jaguars, whatever they're called,
Duval dumpsters.
Yeah. Well, they did it. So our Chargers reporter here at Bull Blitz, she may have taken a terrible towel, and she may
Did
have.
she wipe her behind on it after?
Yeah, she put a lightning bolt through it, and there were a lot of people who tried to go after her. And I can't tell you that I've seen too many people who've ever handled a situation like that with more class than she did. She nailed it. And oh, by the way, the Chargers won. I'm getting messages and videos from so many people, Jessica included, because she is the Bull Blitz reporter. So many yellow and black jerseys. I'm colorblind. I couldn't help but see it. It was everywhere. She's the only person, but I had multiple people tell me 70-30 Steelers to fans ratio at home.
Yeah. I saw that on Twitter as well.
80, you play across the pond, and you've traveled over here. You've played enough football to know what it's like when you play with a crowd like that, especially when it's supposed to be your home turf. And I'm not saying I'm not suggesting you've ever been in that exact situation, but I know that you've been in a stadium that was not in favor of you and your team.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't it remind you of the old San Diego days? Yeah. So, the last sort of 5 to 7 years of San Diego where, a team like the Packers or the Steelers or the 49ers would come to town and you would just sell your season ticket off for that game and literally recoup all of your money for the season.
The whole season. I love that you put the tweet out there too, because it's okay for you to literally call out what we know.
Yeah, it's just but some people haven't been around long enough to actually understand why that happens. It's just because some of these fans coming in, the night before a game back in San Diego, there'd be fans in Pacers or somewhere like that offering stupid money whilst they're off their absolute face on way too much alcohol, and they would offer you $1,000 for a $100 seat. I was like, sure, no problem.
Please, I'll go get another one in the parking lot. Absolutely.
Yeah, been there, done that, and paid $256 for a ticket in the past. So I'm very familiar with this. But it was, from what we understand, it was pretty much the same here, because obviously PSLs and they're kind of a little bit of a different scenario. So again, Packers and Steelers are two fan groups that are really, really kind of known for traveling well. So they were
Cowboys, 49ers. The Patriots have obviously gone to that too since Brady started doing what he did back in the day.
Yeah,
Drake May is obviously trying to carry that torch too. Let's stick with this game though, and let's get back to the Chargers Steelers. I didn't expect this to be a dub, not in the way that it was. I thought they could find a way to sneak it out. You saw the early struggles. You saw Herbert really, and you mentioned it. I think you were the first one that I saw actually say anything about it on any social media app. It was like, he just is really not. He doesn't have the touch right now. That out route on the sideline on the boundary to Gadsden, he literally just out threw him. He threw it too far towards the boundary. Gadsden's a long, lengthy player, and he's a wide slot, so we know he's athletic.
He's a receiver. He's a really big receiver.
He's a big receiver. Yeah, I'll switch. We don't even have to call him a wide slot anymore. We're above.
I'm just gonna come and I said it on Twitter. It's like,
I loved it.
Just he's a receiver. Shut up. So some of these folks,
and that's okay too. It's okay too, because they just ended up drafting, Trey Harris and Oronde Gadsden and Keandre Lambert Smith and a couple other wide receivers just for the fun of it. But they wanted to attack, trying to find weapons for Justin Herbert. So I'm not going to fault them for that. No, I would just like them to find some guys that can fit the Greg Roman offense, because you need a tight end who can block. We've seen Disley be, and we're not going to stay on this too long. We've seen Disley be a healthy scratch. Is he a Charger next year? Quick answer.
No, I don't expect him or Conklin to be Chargers next year. There's a couple of good free agents coming up. Guys like Zach Ertz are coming up. Trey McBride are coming up.
McBride's getting paid in Arizona. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, well, if he comes to the market, there'll be some competition. And as we're probably going to draft a couple of offensive linemen, I would be all for us going all out to actually get a two-way tight end, somebody who actually is a tight end. I'd be all for it.
How many are left? Is the true tight end that you and I are familiar with, is it going the way of the blocking fullback or just a fullback altogether? Or are we just going to see more wide receivers that get split out at tight end, and then we're running what people would like to call like 12, and it's really just a bunch of wide receivers out there?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of wide receivers. Even just looking at this year's like draft class, 6'5", 220 pounds. It's like, you're not a tight end, buddy. If you can't block a defensive end.
You could be that in the 70s and the 80s if you were 6'5", 220. Sure, you could. You just can't. You cannot in 2025, and you can't for the last fucking 15 years. I think this is my first F-bomb, by the way.
No, if I could, send you off to block OA or something like that in practice, cool. But no, you're not going to do that. So no. But there's a lot of good free agents available, so I'd be massively in favor of us using some of this year's cap to go get one in the offseason.
And there's a lot of cap. Who do you have in mind? We can stick on it for a minute if you have.
I don't have the list. I don't have the list in front of me, but obviously people like OA needs to be paid and re-upped. Khalil Mack needs to be paid. So realistically, there's 40 million of your cap gone straight away. So
right away. So people like me have been bragging about the cap to make sure that people are clicking. And doing my job, but it goes quick, especially when you talk about players like an Odafe Owe, who was kind of not doing shit in Baltimore, and then he comes to the Chargers, and I don't know,
lighting it up. Yeah,
I mean, he starts lighting it up a little bit. So obviously, even if the Chargers aren't willing to pay him, somebody's going to be willing to pay him. Yeah. I don't think Khalil Mack wants to go anywhere else except for a team that's led by Justin Herbert. I know that you and I both agreed at one point that it was more a Bosa and Mack thing. I felt and found out later on it was a little less about that. Their relationship was very strong, but I really don't think that Khalil Mack at this point in his career, regardless of what happens this season, if he does decide to play, I don't think he wants to go anywhere else. Your thoughts regarding Khalil Mack being a Charger in 2026?
I think Khalil will do what's best for his family because he's a married man with 2 kids, so uproot them for a season or stay in LA. California's kind of nice if you can pay if you don't mind paying the taxes.
If you can afford it.
Yeah. Well, he'll get 15-20 million to stay for another season, so he can afford it.
Big shout out to David Shaw, Brian Cates, and of course Chargers reporter for Bolt Blitz Uncut, Jessica Thompson. Appreciate y'all. In the comments, no, we don't have an official update on Gadsden's knees, and knee, excuse me. And we all need to realize we're probably not going to get a good one for a week.
Oh,
unless it's season ending.
Yeah, probably not even that, because like
Harbaugh's not going to say shit until he has.
Yeah, they're always just working through something. So unless it's something major, they'll just say, "Oh, it's week to week," or they'll make him a healthy scratch next week and change the plan around. They'll do something. They're never really transparent about this type of stuff. I mean, if you look at Mikael Becton's injury from this year, he was working through something all the way from about May. We knew.
K-tape gate. No, we did know. But I feel like 80, what's funny is nobody knew except for you and me in the Bull Blitz group chat, of course. But then after like 9 weeks, everybody knew, and it was like, "Oh, cute guys, that's adorable."
Yeah.
Maybe, and we're a little scarce. We're a little unknown at this point. We're trying to be refound again. We're excited about the opportunity for that to happen. 80. Let's talk about Kimani Vidal.
Okay.
Listen, he probably is RB2. I don't need to bring back Najee Harris next year. Hampton is at some point going to be healthy. I look forward to his contribution for the remainder of the season once he does get healthy. But I don't know how you can't find a way to find a spot for Vidal on your roster unless you're just outbidded. What are your thoughts on him being a Charger next year?
I think they'll probably bump him up to RB2. And
is that enough for him, though?
Yeah, I think it will be for now. Yeah, I'm more than confident that he will be. I don't know what his situation is for next year. Let's have a quick. I'm just bringing that up.
Take your time.
Vidal. No,
we
he's
saw the
still
hard running tonight. We saw him do the things that he is consistently doing. Excuse me, in the pass protection game.
Vidal is still on the contract. Haskins is a free agent after the season, so
I got them reversed. That I would expect it. So you being somebody who knows the NFL as well as I do, wouldn't you expect him to try to renegotiate something, especially with only 1 year left, despite the fact of the contract he signed coming out of Troy?
Well, with all the cap coming on for next year, they might just like add an extra year, give him a nice little extra year or two extension, and because running backs are so disposable in this league now, so just to be nice, maybe give him an extra year on similar kind of money, or bump him up a little bit more if he's to show his position as RB2. Yeah, maybe we'll see, but yeah, I'm quite happy with that.
As am I, and hopefully he continues to develop.
Yeah.
And what I love is his patience, even despite the fact that the Chargers' offensive line isn't worth a shit right now. Let's get to the. I mean, obviously Herbert's kind of the man of the hour when it comes to any Chargers victory, but Keenan Allen, he is the all-time receptions leader in Chargers history. Lots of wide receivers, lots of tight ends. I'm going to go through a couple names. I'm going to talk about John Jefferson. I'm going to talk about Wes Chandler. I'm going to talk about, at one point, the NFL history leader in receptions, Charlie Joyner, Kellen Winslow Sr., of course.
Yeah.
There are a lot of wide receivers. Of course, I could keep going. Vincent Jackson was phenomenal. And then here is Keenan Allen. He said, no, I got this. Your thoughts on Keenan Allen, not only getting the record, but doing it in Los Angeles in prime time against the Steelers team that was expected to win by most parties, but he did it with a dub.
I mean, I was his rookie season. I was in San Diego watching him, and it's been a big part of my fandom watching Keenan come along as this 3rd round pick. So I love it for the guy. And he's come back home to. I know him and Gates have joked about he'd only come back to actually break the record with, and he's done it. But he's like the old man now. He's the guy that runs that team. He's like a bona fide player coach for the
on the field.
He's what he means for the rest of the guys. So everybody else was just as happy. You saw the reaction from the guys on the sideline. It's great. It's awesome. I mean, he went through the entire first half, no catches whatsoever.
Had a couple of drops, if we're being real honest. Yeah. And I know that only, by the way, I know what the box score will say. And if they put 2 in there, they're right. But I'm fairly certain it'll say 1. Keenan had 2 catches that he should have had in the first half that obviously did not turn out to be catches. But I will say this. We're not going to use this show or any portion of it to disparage Keenan Allen. The guys that we mentioned earlier, those names, Wes Chandler, John Jefferson, I'm telling you, Charlie Joyner, those are my papa's, my daddy's favorite players of all time because they were a part of the Eric Coryell and the Dan Fouts era. My dad wasn't exactly a Dan Fouts fan, but we'll get into that at a different time. But he sure loved those wide receivers. So to see Keenan Allen, number one, come back and have a chance to do that, because when he went to Chicago, we didn't know what was going to happen. And the blood could have been bad enough. In 80, we talked about this on a show a long time ago, to where he maybe would have not even decided to ever consider coming back. No. But here he is, Charger. He breaks the record, as we mentioned, or as you mentioned, excuse me. Gates was fucking with him a little bit. It's cool to see him do that, especially at home. Your thoughts seeing the stadium at 70-30 Steelers fans and the Bolts still come out with a dub?
It's hilarious.
Let's go! Come on, man.
So many people absolutely talking nonsense, especially on Twitter, and all the Steelers fans. They're a harmless bunch of guys. I've been to a Steelers game in the past. They're a nice bunch. There's no animosity with those guys. Unlike Jacksonville, who are the biggest pricks to go to.
I'm so glad you said that. God. And Kyle, I hope you're listening eventually.
Yeah, so like the playoff game, I've heard a few stories about just how bad that was for Chargers fans. A couple of guys who dressed up in fancy dress. One guy in particular, Sam, he had to strip all of his gear off to get out of the stadium because he was ready to fight his way out. Yeah, man.
I know who you're talking about too, and that's a phenomenal fan
Costanzo,
too.
I think
Costanzo, he's Doc Lightning, dude.
Yeah. He had to take all of that stuff off goes to the bathroom, gives it to his girlfriend to put in her handbag to be prepared to fight his way out of the stadium. Jacksonville is a weird place.
Well, yeah, because there's fucking nothing to do there. You've been there, right?
Yeah.
No. There's well.
Yeah.
I know there's one or two places you can go if you're there. They're not exactly savory destinations for that many folks would consider.
The only thing to do there is sunshine and meth. That's about it.
Sunshine, meth, and strippers is what I'm kind of getting at. I'm not a meth guy, clearly, but I'm not going to say what I was about to say either. We're going to move the. No, I just. I won't pay for that. Are you kidding me? I'm never giving a woman money for fake affection. Are you? No. I was raised better than that. Thank you, Mama. I love you. I miss you. R.I.P. 80. Let's talk about this defense. Henley showed up again. I love that he kind of came to the pregame and he was decked out and he was fucking suited and booted and he was ready to play. And I'll tell you right now, I saw that Deion Henley missile shooting all over the field. Got out of position on a couple plays. But that being said, I know you saw his impact tonight.
Yeah, he was fired up. He was darting down to the flats. He was everywhere. One of the picks, he kind of undershot the route, and Rodgers had to kind of readjust and ended up going too high, which went straight to Dante Jackson. He had an effect everywhere, and he's one of the best on his day. He's one of the best pass coverage linebackers in the league. He's just he's really, really good.
You see him as a former safety, and you realize that he has that potential to be that major force as a pass coverage linebacker. But we saw what happened with the flu game. We saw his flu game, if you will. We've seen that he struggled. Do you expect more of the struggle, or do you expect more of what we saw tonight?
Well, supposedly he's putting his weight back on. So the issue was that he was so sick and he lost so much weight. He was barely 205 pounds at one point, and he struggled to put the weight back on. And then obviously he had the issue of his brother being murdered. That kind of messes with your head a little bit. He's a week removed from that. He looks happier. He looks healthier. So it's just a case of where his head's at right now. But yeah, having people like Snoop Dogg in the crowd, I'm sure that fired him up a little bit.
Hey, it could have. Hey, they're both from Crenshaw, but what folks don't know is even though they've seen Snoop in a fucking Chargers jersey, man, that cat's a fucking Steelers fan. Y'all don't get fooled. Don't get fooled. Yeah. Hey, the Chargers invited him to SoFi. I don't remember how many, 2 years ago or whatever, and he wore I think it was an LT jersey, and that cat changed into. I don't remember what Steelers jersey it was, but he was in the Steelers jersey at halftime. And I was like, I'm not that, but if I was him and I had that money, I'd probably do whatever I wanted to.
Oh, he did the feature for Wiz Khalifa, Black and Yellow, because that's Steelers colors.
Oh,
he did the feature for.
I love that man. There goes. If I tell my neighbors everything that you just said, and I had to be informed about it, I'm never invited to a cookout ever again. Literally never, ever, ever. Sticking with the defense, Henley, really proud of him and his performance. To see him do that again, knowing that of course Snoop was there, but I mean it's LA, it's Steelers, it's prime time. The Chargers fans were highly outnumbered, and again a big shout out to Jessica Thompson, the reporter for Bolt Blitz Uncut. We're really proud of you for everything you do. I think it was like 4 something or 5. I don't know what time it was in the morning, but it was ridiculously early. And she's already posting her lightning bolt with the bear from the Steelers thing, just making sure that folks knew she was ready to go. I know that you were ready to go because I tried to talk you out of tonight's show, and you're like, no, I don't just want to be there. I want to fucking do it.
Right. So for the guys in the chat, who don't know, I'm in the UK. This game kicked off at 1:20 in the morning. It is currently 5:30 a.m. and I'm just talking. I'm here with you guys. I am a Chargers fan. Yeah.
Literally is. Hold on, I got to do this because I don't need to puff you up because you're tall enough. But I'm sitting out here and it's only 12:30 and I've fallen asleep 4 times. It's not because I'm not interested. It's because I'm old as fuck. And 80's out here going, I've had 27 shots of espresso. I can't wait for the show.
Yeah. I'm like 2 or 3 shots away from a heart attack. I'm just like, no problem. I'll just crack on. I'm fine. I'm good to go. I'm ready for it. But yeah, this is 20 years of being a Chargers fan. Like, I'm used to this. Like, a primetime game on a Sunday is like you get 2 or 3 of these a year. So I'm very well versed in being a Chargers fan. I almost look forward to the early East Coast kickoffs.
Yeah. So the Titans game at 1, I'm sure you loved.
Oh yeah, that was great because I got to sit there with my toddler watching it almost just before we even eat dinner.
Yeah.
It was like a 6 p.m. kickoff for me. It was great.
We love it. We love it for you, man, and everything that you do, not just for this show, but of course, just being a member of the Bolt fam and embracing me in the goofy ass ways that you have. It's always going to be appreciated. Look at David Shaw. I hear you. I was in Spain for a couple of years. Always stayed up for Chargers game. David Shaw is a legit fucking fan too, and he's a huge supporter of this show. He's always commenting on everything we put on the Old People app on Facebook. David Shaw, you're appreciated. And look at Jessica. Heck yeah, 80. She doesn't even know shit about you, and she's got to make sure she gives you praise.
I appreciate you, Jessica. Thank you very much.
She spreads the word better than you do, especially on social media.
Good. Yeah,
good.
Good.
Look at that. 6'11" and recognizing a weakness. I love it.
Yeah, I need to get better at my social media game. Yeah, I'll go silent for a couple of days, and then just sort of pick it up and just start picking fights with people.
Yeah, but that's part of the fun. That's the position you're in right now. You get to do that kind of shit because you're part of a show that people actually enjoy, and we've got some. It's a small fan base, but right now, I wouldn't exchange the number nor the people for anybody else that we could have out there in the Charger sphere. The Bolt fam is obviously cautiously and continuously referred to them as is. Despite the fact that nobody can figure out that they don't do it right, including the Chargers, because they put up space in there, and it's just unique. The Chargers fan base is just a different thing. It was that when it was in San Diego, and it's still that now that it's in Los Angeles. In fact, I think it's even more unique because I'm watching people whom, and respectfully to everybody out there that's listening, I'm watching people that I didn't know a lot about, but I'm watching them actually make a huge impact. And I think it was more about me not paying enough attention than it was them not making the impact. I think it was more about me not recognizing it. 80, you're over there. You're doing fucking shows at 5:30 in the morning. You couldn't be happier to do it. When you see other fans, like a fan like Jessica, of course. I see you, David Shaw. Old People app. You know it's the Old People app. When you see fans like Jessica going to, by the way, I actually have her number. Her number as far as games, it's 62.
Yeah.
Sorry, I do also have her number. That's none of your fucking business. 62 consecutive games home and away. 80. Yeah. You're somebody who would love to do it. I would love to have been able to do it over these last however many years. I mean, how can we not respect something like that? How can we not back someone like that?
Yeah, exactly. It's a memorable one. I think the Chargers Fan of the Year nominee is a guy who hasn't missed a home game for like 40 years or something.
He literally was a 1961 season ticket holder.
Yeah, from the year.
What? So like you were there in the first LA stint.
So he got to see the Chargers' best ever offensive tackle, Ron Mix.
Ron, don't you dare bring up the curse on this show.
No. I'm just saying he is statistically the Chargers' best ever offensive tackle.
80, you're a tall guy. We're gonna really fucking transition here quick. Not that way. But Brian Cates is literally posing something in the comments that I can't avoid, and I really need to ask you as a 6'11" guy. Why the fuck does Justin Herbert at 6'6" get all of his passes batted down? Tonight was really bad. You see it a lot. We saw it with Phillip Rivers, but Rivers had a 3-quarter release and sometimes more really 50-50. What does he need to do, or how do they combat that as an offense to make it better?
Block. Block. So, like, the reason why TJ Watt got his is because he managed to get in the middle of Trey Pipkins and Mekhi Becton and managed to get in between the pair of them, get his hand into the air. If, like, either one of those two guys who we've got, they've all got about 50 to 100 pounds on the guy, could actually keep him out of the way, that ball goes over the top of his hands. And, like I say, with Cam Hayward, he makes a career. He's the number one guy in the league for batting passes at the line of scrimmage.
And
So
and he's almost my fucking age. In fact, he's closer to your age because I'm a little
yeah,
older than you. Like, are you kidding me? How does Cam Hayward keep doing this? You're a guy who's been in the trenches. I know you were more a tight end and on the outside at tackle,
yeah,
but you see a guy like Cam Hayward. Can you talk to the Chargers fans out there, the Bull fam, and tell them how impressive it was that the Chargers interior line and offensive line actually kind of kept him at bay, regardless of, I think it was 2 batted balls.
yeah. So he has lost a step a little bit, and they have got a relatively new nose tackle that they kind of have to. I can't even remember the guy's name, but they have to double that guy and have to slide protections around. Cam Hayward, yeah, okay, he is a guy that 2 years ago would have been one of the most dangerous D tackles in the league. He's not that guy anymore, but he has his uses, and batting balls down the line of scrimmage when he's blocked one-on-one is what he does. You have to be mindful of that and aware that he's going to be there.
When you can't get the penetration that you used to get, put your hands up.
Yeah. Just
that's a football. That's a football phrase, by the way.
Well, so what you're
on this show, we gotta be real specific.
Yeah. So like with a situation like that, the D tackle, you're gonna fire out, get your hands in, push back, 1, 2, get your hands in the air, and try and block something. And he does that really well. You know, he's got perfect technique. Yeah, he's lost a step, but he's still a big old boy.
And we'll close it off with this. I think that you understand maybe even better than I do. They're using Cam more in a way of occupying blocks and then getting his hands up than they are anything really about him getting any penetration regarding the pass rush.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, some of these guys are big guys, but yeah, he's more of like an inside free taking even just stopping the run. He can do all of that, and he is still a really, really, really good guy.
So wide receiver Rondé Gadsden the second. How excited are you about his wide receiving ability moving forward?
He's a really good wide receiver. I will openly say that he's a really, really good wide receiver.
He had a tough night tonight, but was it more on him or did our guy Penn? Did he have kind of a rough night?
That was on the early struggle of Herbert. Not a lot of those passes were just errant. I mean, there was a couple where he didn't get his head over to actually look. I think there was one in the end zone where he got out of his break and hadn't even got his head around to look, and it was over his head. Maybe he could have got that. We don't know. But yeah, it was rough for a couple of guys. I mean, nobody really kind of dominated tonight. Lad got 4 big splash plays, so he finished on like 107 yards on 4.
Do we need to watch him drop another obvious ball, though? I don't know what's going on with that, because let me say this, and I'm going to do something that's probably not fair, and it's not popular. We know how QJ is treated every time he dropped a ball, especially last season.
My 3-year-old actually comes to me when he watches games and says, "Did QJ drop it?" I'm like, because I've got so angry about the amount of times that he dropped the ball last season that it's actually ingrained in my 3-year-old's mind. Like, did QJ drop it? And it's just like, and you kind of, I do have the video somewhere. It's on.
Are you watching everyone in the comments fuck with me for drinking a beer that's in a pink can? It's in a pink can. It's delicious. Just deal with it.
What is it?
It's well, boy, it's natural light strawberry lemonade. And it's delicious.
Natty light. That's like piss water. That's the colored piss water.
Say it more, and it's delicious. And that's what I like.
It
makes me happy.
I've got a Danish Pilsner, like a proper beer.
Oh, don't do that, man. I'll drink whatever you want and we'll have fun. I don't care how fucking big you are. You and I, you know what? Let's do this now. Let's have some fun with this, actually, because the Chargers are fucking coming off a huge victory. Obviously, we're going to meet each other at some fucking point because we have to. You can't be my co-host. We don't meet.
We've been friends for 15 years and never actually
met. We need to figure that shit out. But we'll sit down. The only thing I have to make very clear in advance, and it's not fair. I can't drink liquor because I'll end up fighting you, and I'm not trying to get buried in the same day that I meet you.
What about vodka?
No.
So I could never do liquor. I was a bad then I learned because I have a Polish wife.
Yeah. That's not fair. You have all the proper training.
Yeah, I've had the proper training over the last 10 years. My wife is Polish, so I went from like gagging every time somebody brought a vodka near me to me and my father-in-law casually just polishing a bottle off over dinner. It's like, okay, we can do this. And then me getting shouted at the next morning by my mother-in-law because I'm walking fine and he nearly wet himself that night.
I'm listening to you talking about amazing stories, and I'm still getting killed in the comments about drinking out of a pink fucking beer can. It's fucking beer. It's 4.2. I live in Michigan. It tastes good. I can't drink the stuff that makes me too gassy because I have 3 bathrooms and I don't want to use them 15 times a day. All of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I don't want to. I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Here's a challenge because we're going to do a live stream for the first round of the next draft.
Hey, listen, I will. Okay. If you really want to do anything like that, I'll create the tower live.
Okay, right. 1 shot for every draft pick.
Ah, sure. All right, deal. Because they're only going to have like 5 or 6. I don't care about that. So this is my caveat.
No, night 1, there's 32 of them.
Ah, fuck.
Come on.
All right, deal. Okay, hold on.
No,
let me. Let's hold on. I love this. Let's negotiate a little bit here. Not because of size, but because you can't drink like I can. Let's do beers the first night. And then if you can show up to the second night, I'll drink a beer. Hold on. I'll drink a beer with you. And I don't care what beer you drink. I don't care. And don't be a show off. Get something, whatever. I'll drink 1 beer for every pick in the first round.
Okay.
And then if you show up for the second round, then we'll start talking about liquor.
See, Brian likes the way I think about this. So, yeah.
Oh, I know. Hey, but by the way, people like Matt Lidioff, they've seen me host meetups where I'm like 30 beers deep. Like I'm all right. Like I could do this. Nobody wants to know when I started drinking today. I've been terrified since about, I don't know, like 3 days ago. Yeah,
but is that like 30 beers or is that like 30 Michelob
30
Ultras?
pink beers.
30 Michelob Ultras. It's not even
beer. You know I can't drink Mich Ultras, although they're all right. They're all right. Man, you go to, listen, I live in Oakland County. It's like a weird, it's like right behind like Beverly Hills County or one of the goofy ass fucking California counties where there's a lot of money here. And I don't live in that, I don't live in that pocket. Let me make that very clear. But I do like to drink. So what I would like to do for sure is we'll figure out some type of something and we'll let people win shit because of it. I also want to do this too, because I've been talking about giving away all this shit and I'd never give away anything. I've got to make sure that we give away some stuff, but I think that what I'm going to do is a little different. I'm just going to give away stuff to the people that are in the comments all the time. And I have so much to give away. So, I'm going to work with my P.O. Box representative, whom I spoke with today. And if you think I'm kidding, you don't know me. If you have not seen the pictures of like regular hairstylists coming to my apartments or homes or wherever to cut my hair, people coming to do the oil change at my house, like I just find ways to get things hooked up. I'm going to continue to do that regarding this. When it comes to practicing to beat a man of 80 size, when it comes to drinking, does anybody have any advice? That's right. I don't need any.
Okay.
I'm not worried about you at all. It'll be fun. I'm excited. I just need beer the first night. And if you show up the second day, then let's have some fun. Want the blue hell you're drinking? Yeah, I know. Just a little natural light strawberry lemonade. It's natter days. It's delicious. It goes down easy, too easy sometimes. Yeah. Or like every time we have a show. We're only 38 minutes in, and I feel like we've been doing this for 4 days.
Well, I mean, time flies when you're having fun, man.
That's what I'm talking about. You look at the Chargers defense. How concerned are you? I felt pretty good until you said, yeah, the Chargers are just dicing them the fuck up. This shit's over. Oh, yeah. But you felt confident enough because you saw the trends. What really stuck out to you?
The game plan. So for those who don't know, according to True Media, one of the analytics sites, Aaron Rodgers actually has the second fastest release. So typically he gets rid of the ball in around 2.5 seconds, which makes him the second fastest release point in the league. You can't sit back in zone for that. You've got to get up in receivers' faces and actually put pressure on the guys so that he can actually so he can't get the ball off. And any balls that he do get off, there's going to be a defensive back there to actually bat it down. And a lot of the guys were locked down, and that was because Jesse Minter put a really good game plan in place.
So, how impressed were you by the fact that he actually did that tonight against a team that defensively, was going to be overmatched for that Chargers offensive line? But Minter was so confident in what he had in place. The Chargers and Greg Roman offensively were able to work around what they were doing defensively on the other side of the ball.
Well, Jesse Minter actually knows Mike Tomlin really well. So going back in history, Mike Tomlin worked for Jesse Minter's dad. So they've
Rick Minter.
Yeah, Rick Minter. So Jesse was learning from Mike Tomlin when he was 16 years old and still in high school. He was learning
playing wide receiver, and he ended up being at like fucking some college named St. Mary's or some shit. I don't remember. It was a really small. Mike Tomlin was actually a pretty decent wide receiver, but he was at a really small school. Really, I don't remember. Maybe it was Monmouth. I don't know. It was something small like that.
Like Jesse Minter actually learned DB coaching from Mike Tomlin. So he's been learning from him since he was 16. So he's beaten his master, so to speak. So he knows the man. He knows how he thinks. He knows how he put offenses together, and he's just put on a master class. So hopefully we can do it next week versus the Jaguars. Seem to be
so this is in Jacksonville, by the way, and I just want to give a shout out to our producer extraordinaire, Kyle Nash. I hope we beat the fuck out of the team that you cover. I appreciate you send me the information about the Sheridan Inn. If anybody is looking for a cheap place to stay in Jacksonville, our boy and producer extraordinaire, Kyle Nash, actually gave me a really cool link that can save some people some money if they don't already have somewhere to stay. We don't get any proceeds or anything goofy from that. It's literally, he was just like, if your old falling apart ass can make it to a game, here's a cheap way for you to be there hotel-wise.
You may or may not wake up with like in a bathtub with ice with a kidney missing, but who knows?
I only have one to give now.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that can't happen anymore. We can't do any more kidney swapping. We can't do any more taking of small intestine. We're in a rough spot over here, but we're always doing better than we deserve. Yeah. Well, this is Bolt Blitz uncut, and obviously we kind of have a little more fun than we're supposed to, but that's why you guys tune in. Big shout out to the comments tonight. Oscar, listen, Booga, get a man strength. The Bolts won, dude. Come on, man. I know my limits, and I'm trying to be responsible. You know, there's a lot of things going on right now. Is Kyle gonna? Oh, hold on. Let me get to this with Jessica. Kyle is almost at, I believe, at every single Jags game. A picture of you two together would be priceless. It would be awesome because he's going to throw it in my face forever. So I just need you to take it first and make sure I see it via you as opposed to him. Because he's going to throw it in my face.
So I'm kind of waiting for the schedule for next year. So I suspect that we've got an NFC South game next year. I'm suspecting that that game, if that's Atlanta, I'm coming.
You'll be okay. Well, yeah. I can make it to Atlanta. I can actually. Yeah. Well, hold on real quick. Let me do this while you bring that up. Thank you, Jessica. I hope you do track him down. Please do, because he's worth it, and so are you. For those of you who don't know, because I'm having these people accuse me as the ringleader on the X app or Twitter app, as the guy who is the ringleader of the folks who don't go to the games. That's cute because I've been to more games than many people. This is gonna really fuck people up. I've been to more Padres games than I've been to any game.
Yeah.
I've been to more dog races and horse races than I've been to Padres games. Yeah. Daddy raised me a little different when it came to that kind of shit. That being said, I'm sorry I got sick. I'm sorry my son and I almost died. I'm sorry my co-host died. And I'm sorry my dad died. Shit happens, man.
And now you live in Michigan.
And now I'm in fucking Michigan trying to make sure my ex-wife is happy. We just do shit for other people sometimes.
Yeah.
As much as people want to confuse me for being something I'm not, I really do try to give back to other people.
Yeah, I'd say I come to as many games as I can, but like if I come for a weekend on my own, like a game's like maybe $2,000 for flying across, staying for a weekend. Doesn't have to be a nice hotel, just somewhere where I can have a shower and get my head down.
4 walls and a roof.
Yeah, that's all I care about. But if the wife and child wants to go, my last trip cost me $20,000. I'm just like, can't do that every year.
So what we're not going to do, because we're responsible fucking human beings and adults, is I'm not going to sit here and allow what I'm hearing from some random people who know nothing about football, that if you don't attend the games, you don't know what's going on and you don't count. I'll tell you right now, all the people that I know that watch the games and actually know football, they'll tell you right now the best spots on their couch are in the press box.
Yeah.
It's not about atmosphere, especially at my age, man. I've been in some loud stadiums. I've been in the big house there in Ann Arbor. I sang the national anthem there. It was incredible. It's beautiful. It's a different thing as you start to get older. And I watch some of these Charger fans, these Bolt fan members who've kind of phased themselves out via age. And it's not because they didn't want to be there anymore. They just got a little old and shit just changes. Priorities change. What I was doing when I was out in San Diego was just, full force and whatever. And then I was missing out on a lot of fucking shit. So I had to fucking get my ass on and quit fucking around.
Yeah, family comes first. But I'm waiting for the schedule for next year. If that road game of the NFC South is in Atlanta, then I'll be coming for that, because it's one of those weird things where we have all these games on the East Coast, yet I can't directly fly from London there. It's stupid. Like, I can't go to the
where's the hub that you would fly to? Like, I don't know. I would assume Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah, it's a Delta hub.
But God, that airport sucks ass, dude.
It's a Delta hub, but then the stadium is downtown, so you can take a train from the airport to downtown, have a hotel, and from your hotel downtown, you can walk to the stadium. It's one of the easiest places. It's very European. Whereas, if you go to Buffalo, I've got to take 2 flights because I can't fly directly. I've got to take 2 flights, then get an Uber 30 miles south to the stadium. It's just like, come on.
The wings aren't worth it. I love Anchor Bar. I love oh fuck, I fucked up the name. It's whatever. Sorry, I love that, and I love the other one too in Buffalo, because an ex of mine took me there. We went to Niagara Falls. I threw up on the Maiden of the Mist, or where the fuck that shit is. It was horrible. I hated every fucking second of it. But Buffalo is a cool place to be, but you do not get in there easily, especially when you're coming from fucking London.
Yeah, so there's so many East Coast places that you want to go to. Like, if I'm just doing a 4-day weekend, I don't really want to be on a plane for 18 hours to fly across the pond.
What a picky bitch.
It sounds horrible. So I'm just fine. It's just about picking the right games. And if Atlanta's on the schedule for next year, that'd be quite an easy one for me to get across to. New York's quite an easy one. I know so many of the people there. Boston, really easy for me to get to. So yeah.
So there are options. In other words, now that I've been semi-okayed to fly and figure some shit out regarding my life, I guess we're gonna have to meet up, and I'm gonna have to slap you in the chin just for hurting my feelings every now and then.
You mean your knee?
I'll try. I need a ladder for that too, but that's okay. I'm not shy. I'll take a ladder, hit you in the knee too. Guys, this is Bolt Blitz Uncut. We're a little bit different around here. Chargers win in a game that I don't think anybody expected them to win. I was listening to everybody who sent me texts, who sent me videos, who sent me pictures, and it was inundated with Steelers fans everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it was forcibly ridiculous how many Steelers fans were there. And the little few, the Davids versus the Goliath of the Steelers, man, they got to walk out of that stadium with their heads held high. Yeah. And hopefully they didn't talk too much shit, because we're better than that, or at least we want to pretend we are. I'm not, but you guys need to be.
Yeah, they got to come to LA. It's a nice stadium. It's a real nice place. I
should probably get there at some point for sure.
Yeah.
80, we've kept you up too long. But what I want to do, is we're going to address the special teams real quick. They were better tonight. Darius Davis may not be it. Got to figure something out in the return game. But when we're done with that, talk about Dicker, obviously the opening kickoff, the missed field goal. But are you concerned about special teams? And then where can people find you on social media?
Concerned about it? I mean, no, it's going to need to be rebuilt, because we've just literally traded our best gunner away.
Jasir Taylor, and then let's not forget Caleb Murphy too, by the way.
Yeah, Caleb Murphy, he got cut and he went straight to the Patriots. So 2 of our best core special teamers are out the door. Obviously, we've got the long snapper back this week, and what a difference he made. Yeah, I mean, everybody misses kicks. but we have the most accurate kicker in the league statistically. So not
Ever.
ever on his first 100 kicks, he just missed the 105th kick. No, it's fine. Like I'm not worried. I mean, now we've got rid of Lovato, who couldn't even snap the ball. His one job, he couldn't do it. But but from what he saw, he actually retired before he was released.
I know that you know why exactly.
Yeah. And so we know the story about Josiah Taylor. So they had to clear up out the cap space to bring Penning in.
Hold on. I really want to. Yeah. So even though Penning didn't play, I don't think did. He say how much did Penning even see the field?
He didn't.
Yeah.
I don't believe. They may have
if he did get snaps, forgive us, guys. But 80 and I were literally focused on the guys who were playing consistently. Dante, I got to do this for Richie because Dante getting an interception against his old team. He is a former Steeler. It's not just a nice touch, but it's so nice that he brings that up because Dante's actually fought. Dante Jackson, cornerback for the Chargers. He's fought back against a lot of adversity. He had a really rough time in Carolina as well. That's the 5th time my voice is cracked. I was out there in Carolina while Dante was playing cornerback for the Panthers, and those fans out there were not great to him. Yeah. And it's because he struggled and times were rough. But if Tarheeb still continues to be unhealthy and not able to play, Dante Jackson is the best cornerback on the Chargers roster. Agree or disagree?
I think right now I'm probably going to agree with it. I mean, Jesse Minter said all the whole time around that he's going to rotate people in, rotate people out. Every week's going to be a different situation for what they're looking for. I mean, another person would be Juiced. He had a horrible time last year in Washington, and he's had a bit of a resurgence. He's actually looking relatively okay. I'm not going to say decent. He's just okay. He's not a liability.
His number, listen, if you pay attention to PFF grades, St. Juice looks incredible. I mean, like his numbers are good per their grading system. He didn't exactly have a great game tonight. I'm not going to try to pick anybody apart because the Chargers won tonight. But that secondary does give me a little cause for concern. What did you think about Derwin playing more safety tonight than he did down in the box or at the nickel spot?
So that
I thought that was interesting.
So that was intended. So that was because of Pittsburgh running their 13 personnel with their
12 and 13.
Yeah, when they were running their 13 personnel. So when they spread out, he would come down to the box, and like Aaron Rodgers is smart enough to know what to put in depending on where he goes. So with 13 personnel, they put him back more at safety, and they kind of keep Perriman in, and it's just defensive formations and personnel sets, depending on what the offense are giving them, and it's worked. It worked really well tonight. You know, he didn't do any more than he needed to. Nico Reed played a lot of nickel as well tonight, and he almost got a pick. So
he should have picked that one. By the way, I'm just getting picked on for the pink beer thing, and that's cool.
Yeah,
hey. So speaking of a word that starts with P, let's start with Perriman instead of my fucking pink beer. Perriman knocking the shit out of dudes early, and then throughout the game we saw him come out a couple times. I hope it's not anything head injury related, because he does like to hit cats, but his difference on the defense was felt tonight. Your thoughts having a guy like Perriman when it comes to a Pittsburgh Steelers team where they are coming out in 12 and 13 the whole game, by the way. This was an interesting scheme game when it came to, they were very similar in how they employed what their rosters had to give them.
So Perriman kind of keeps everybody nice and honest. So if you're coming downhill, he's going to meet you in the gap. But you can only do that so many times. If you change your personnel, if you change to more of a path set, or you know what the percentages are depending on down distance of what they're going to run. If it's an obvious pass situation, Denzel Berriman has no business being in there whatsoever. So you'll put him out, put Troy Dye in, who's going to be slightly better at the passing game in an obvious pass game. If it's like an early down, so realistically at this stage of his career, he's a 2-down linebacker. So,
but that's what they brought him in to do, exactly that, and that's why they have a guy like Troy Dye, who, despite the fact that he struggled at times this year, it's why he's still on the roster. He had some games last season that were phenomenal, but we're watching a guy like Deion Henley who's come in and despite a couple of rough things after the flu game, I feel he's acquitted himself pretty well the last 2 games. Your thoughts on Henley tonight and, of course, last week after the loss of his brother?
Yeah, he stepped it up. So, like I say, for a couple of weeks with the flu game, he was ill. He lost a lot of weight, and he was just putting the weight back on. Then, obviously, he loses his brother. That's physically and mentally tough for you on both accounts. If this is the start of the upswing for him, awesome. Bring it on. You're bringing your peak in at the right moment. So,
that's perfect. No. I think it's important to say it that way too, because there are a lot of people who would lay down in the situation. That's the 7th time. There's a lot of people that would lay down in that situation and kind of fold. And I don't know about any of you, but I watched the tape more than once of last week, and I'll get to the tape a second time from tonight's game. But Henley's he's literally putting everything he's got into it. I don't know if his weight's where it is that he would like it to be at. And 80 and I talked about that, I don't know, an hour and a half ago or whatever the fuck it was. But if he gets back to where he's comfortable and he starts taking, some better angles that kept him, the angles that kept him out of the Staley defense are some of those things that have allowed him to struggle this year. But as he's underweight and unhealthy, as I'm hoping we're fair to assume, we'll just wait to see him continue to play like he did the last 2 weeks. Any concerns about Dicker moving forward? I'm not too concerned. I'm not worried about it. And then to wrap it up, no, it's good. When you look at the running game, if Hampton doesn't get back soon enough, are you concerned about Vidal being able to keep up what he's been doing?
Well, he'll have like a good game, and then he'll have like a bit of an odd game. I think there was 2 games in the last 4 where Justin Herbert with 50 yards was like the number 1 leading rusher. So yeah, he'll break out, have 95 yards like he did this week, but a couple of games he'll drop off a little bit. So like I say, Justin, I think 2 of the last 4 games, Justin's been the
leading rusher.
Yeah, with 50 yards. I think he's leading the entire league now in
QB rushing yards. At least he was going into this game. I don't know what he had tabulated totally from this game, but I would assume he's probably still pretty close.
Only 19, so 5 carries, 3.8 yards per carry, 19 yards total. So
well, I bet he's still top 5 though.
Yeah. So Jared Patterson, he only had one carry for 1 yard. Vidal, 25 carries, 95 yards. So he saw the rock a lot, and it was 3.8 yards per carry. But that takes into account the first half where he was just running into the first quarter where he was just running into a brick wall. So
80, you're an offensive line. Hold on, let me back you up if you don't mind, because I think everybody deserves to hear this from your perspective. That 3.8 yards is not great for those stat box watchers. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to an offensive line that's enjoying running the ball and able to get off blocks and not backpedaling all that happy shit, what type of momentum are you able to gain having a runner that is going to get you that almost 4 yards no matter what's going on?
Well, if he does that every time, it's a first down every 3 plays. Really that simple. You only need 3.5 yards per carry to get a first down. That's 10.5. That's 10.5 yards every.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm in Michigan, and that's the Bo Schembechler offense from the fucking 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and as long as he was able to be there.
Yeah, if you can do 3.8 yards average, then you're moving the stick every 3 plays. So cool, whatever. Let's move on. But yeah, it was just that first quarter where he was just running into a brick wall. Like say quarter 2 onwards, he started them lanes started to move up a little bit more, and it opened up for him. And the second quarter he was putting 10 and 12 yard chunk plays together, which is great.
And he's doing it behind a line that I'm not sure that even the Chargers have a lot of faith in, except for the fact that they have a different grading system than literally everybody I've ever met in my entire life when it comes to the offensive line.
Yeah. If our first round pick for this next draft isn't a left guard, then I will be so angry.
Okay, so we won't delve too deep into that. We will definitely get into draft stuff, but let's have a little fun here for a second since you did that. How many offensive linemen do they need to draft in the first 4 rounds in the 2026 draft?
In the first 4 rounds?
Just 4. We could talk about the later rounds too, but let's start with 4.
At least 1.
I need 2. I need 2.
Yeah, just give me the left guard from Penn. I'll be happy. There's a lot of it.
Vega Ioane. I
Yeah,
figured
yeah.
his name out. He's a bad motherfucker. This dude is probably, would you say, the best guard / little versatility in the draft?
Yeah, he's got the #1 grade. There's a guy called Caden Green out of Missouri. He's playing left guard for Missouri, but he's being kind of lined up to play tackle on the next level. I don't see the point in that.
Provide fair disclosure and let them know how much you love Brandon Jones, the offensive line coach there at Missouri, and then also what the program is doing over there, just so everybody gets full perspective on what's going on.
Brandon Jones. I mean, he makes people better. He was a Texas A&M center. Straight after graduating, he went into coaching. He went up and down colleges. He was run game coordinator at Penn and Cal. He's been across the Carolinas coaching. Now he's back in Missouri, and he is the O-line coach. He produced Membu, who's playing absolutely lights out. He's
playing so well too. And you and I we didn't dismiss him, but we didn't think about him.
No, he's like the most athletic tackle that's been out of the draft in ages. I mean, he blew everything away last year. He's got some good guys coming through, and this year, Caden Green left guard. He'll be a guard or tackle. There's a center coming out. I'm not a massive fan of the guy. He's not that. He's got some deficiencies.
I know who you're talking about too. I can't think of his name though.
He's got some deficiencies.
He was in the group chat.
Yeah, he'll be an undrafted free agent, I reckon. I've spoken to some O-line people who know a bit more about him. Do I want to come and coach in LA? Yeah, I'd love to.
If you knew, God, 80, if you knew. But anyway, we're working on so many different things. We're working on.
I've had so many
I've already propositioned 80 to be like, so if I could try to get somebody to pay a little attention, he's like, yeah, dude, like until it's real, I don't give a fuck. Basically, it's kind of how he put a bow on it.
So for Jessica, Rashawn Slater's personal coach, I just spent a weekend with him 2-3 weekends ago.
Duke Manyweather, legit, he is
the O-line guru.
The most world-renowned O-line coach right now.
I just spent the weekend with the guy. His wife is from England. He put a clinic together with a lot of stuff from Rashawn Slater and a lot of stuff from Lane Johnson. So he coaches Creed Humphrey, the highest paid center, the highest paid guard, that Ty Smith from Ty, and then obviously Rashawn's the highest paid tackle. He coaches all three of those guys during the off season. He is the O-line guru. Now, I think the numbers that he put together was that he's been responsible for, in 7 years, $1.5 billion in O-line contracts. $1.5 billion in contracts.
The good news is over my years, I've been responsible for 1.5 billion tears. Not of my own, providing
all of your own into a beer bottle. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it would be that easy because that seems translatable to being a Chargers fan for as long as I have. 80, you and I could sit here and fucking talk forever. We're not going to do that to these people. Hugo, Brian, David, every fucking person else. 80, of course, for being my co-host, and it's so amazing to talk football with you again. Of course, Richie Farley, Matt Lidioff of ML Collectibles, Brian Cates. We already talked about Hugo. God bless it. And then, of course, Oscar Portillo. We saw your jersey. We love that you picked the 55 Sayao on that hoodie. You know, the whole chat loved that shit. We appreciate you so much for even tuning in, much less making sure that we knew that you made a really good decision on your hoodie. Come on. I know they're going nuts, man. They're going nuts, and it's kind of nice. We're not large in numbers, but we're large in love. It's not a beer bottle.
It's pure slander on you, mate.
Listen, but if there's anybody who can take it, it's me. And I think you've known that for 15 years. And we still haven't met. We got to change that shit. This is actually kind of the fun way to end this shit. Bring it all my way, no matter who you are. Oh, well, we got this over here. We're just a little different. We kind of have a little too much fun, and I probably drink way too much. But I'll tell you right now, the people who are involved in what we're doing, they really care about trying to provide you guys with some information, myself included. If you're not aware of what I do on the Old People app, we're covering over 1 million people every month. So it's a little different than what we do on the Young People app, that whole X Twitter thing. But just wait till we get that thing in our grasp too. 80, tell everybody where they can find you, please, so that we can make sure everybody is getting your knowledge as opposed to what I have to say out of a pink beer can.
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter at AD Simons, all one word. This where all my football stuff goes in. O-line and tight end is where I kind of specialize. So you'll never hear me talking about defensive backs. That's not my thing. So yeah, O-line and tight ends. That's my thing, and that's what I'll always talk about on Twitter.
And let me do this too. I'm laughing a little bit in the background. It's not because I don't agree with him. I don't know too many people that I trust more than 80 about the offensive line. And honestly, he had me turn on to Theo Johnson and then Mason Taylor, and I still want them both to be Chargers.
Yeah.
So his tight end game is as strong as his offensive line game. If you guys aren't following him, you're missing out. It's not just that, and yeah, he's a little aggressive because he's a part of Bold Blitz, but we really say how we feel, because when you know what you're talking about, it's worth allowing other people to be a part of sharing in that. If you want to hear some funny takes, and some of them are tough, you really need to figure out where he's at AD Simons, ADYSIMONS.
Yeah,
and just follow him, and you guys know where to find me. I'm at Booga Peters. I'm the loud guy that just inundates your Facebook old people bullshit with content all over the place. We're gonna figure out the Twitter thing again. I got to be cautious. It's a different realm on Twitter right now. It's a different place. Y'all let people say the worst things about the Chargers on Twitter. You've got people saying that Trey Lance should start and you should never have Justin Herbert play it down. The Chargers
Trey Lance should have been traded. Trey Lance should have been traded. He had so much value coming out of that offseason. I would have traded that guy for a day 2, day 3 pick.
Whatever. I would have taken a 5th or a 6th, because if Herbert goes down, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the season's gone to shit. You may as well have Taylor Heineke back there getting beat to crap, because if Herbert's not back there, the season's over.
Did you see Brian Casey says, "Isn't this the Old People app?" God damn it, Brian, you're damn right it is for now.
Yeah.
I try to get my children to tune in. They don't give a fuck, but they did like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, so I appreciate that. 80, okay. Before I keep you any longer, we've already talked over where people can find you. Your schedule regarding what you can do for this show is post-game shows, right?
Yeah, every Sunday. I'm here every Sunday, and then I'll film bits and pieces if I need to, as and when I can. But yeah, I am your Sunday person.
He's not only the Sunday person, he's one of the best co-hosts, if not the best co-host I've ever had, because it's rare to find somebody who knows football like an AD Simons, and he's doing so from literally thousands and thousands of miles away in any way, shape, and form he can. And he is who he is. I didn't pick him. He picked himself, but I'm just glad he's a part of what we're doing. 80, thank you so much for everything you do for us. This is Bold Blitz Uncut. We've been about an hour and 10 minutes. I'm going to kiss this young man goodnight. And then if anybody wants to bother me on social media, you know where to find me. I'm Booga Peters. This has been Bold Blitz Uncut. I have the best co-host I've ever had. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Play the